Yeah. I know you see it. I know you see how I'm outfitted out
I
here.
saw what they were handing out at the arena at Madison
Yeah.
Square Garden.
The world's most famous arena, baby. They take care of you in there. They take good care of you
I
in there.
mean, I don't know. They charging you an arm and a leg. The least they
Hey,
can do is give you a T. We'll talk about last night, but let's jump into it. I am Johnell. This is my guy, Matt Price, Cash Walk-In. This is Heat Check powered by Designated Report, and it's November already, which is
oh,
insane, honestly.
God,
And we know the last 2 months of the year fly by. You got the holidays, you got people calling out of work or
all that.
PTO, trying to use up their PTO before the end of the year. It's going to fly by the next couple of months, and we're going to be in 2026 already, which
Warp
is
speed.
insane to me.
Warp speed.
We kind of got into it a little bit before the show officially started, but last night you were in the building. You were at Madison Square Garden
Yes.
to see the Knicks host the Minnesota Timberwolves. You guys walked out of there with a dub. What's the second game, third game of the year
Um,
that you've been to?
this is our third.
Third from the three games that you've been at. How's the energy? How are Knicks fans feeling? How are you feeling as a Knicks fan? And yeah, just anything cool or interesting that might have happened at the arena yesterday.
Well, yeah. I mean, the vibes are incredible in the city, especially around the arena and everything like that. In general, the fans, it's been awesome. Every single trip down has really been great. At home, the Knicks are fine.
Yeah,
It's been on the road where they've run into some problems, some inconsistent play. But the last few games, I think they've scored like 126, 119, 130. They had 133, I think, last night or something crazy like that, or 134.
yeah, they went crazy in the
Yeah,
second
the
half.
offense has really been going well. The principles that Mike Brown wants wants them to play with have been being executed. He wants guys driving and touching the paint and spraying it back out to increase the number of threes that they're shooting, and
Hmm.
they've done that. So and now they're starting to fall. Josh Hart, got to give a shout out to him. Rough start. The fan base was cooking him a little bit, but he's come out of it and kind of started to get in his rhythm a little bit. And I I'm like one of the leaders of the Mitchell Robinson fan club. His
You've been talking
impact,
about him for
man,
years. Yeah.
his impact on what they are able to do defensively is just incredible. Chris Finch, head coach of the Timberwolves, shouted him out too. He said Mitchell Robinson had more offensive rebounds than any player on the Timberwolves had total rebounds. Like it
That's
was,
wild
and he only
stat.
played 16 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy number. Like he had like 9 offensive rebounds and didn't even play the whole game. So his impact is crazy. He changes shots at the rim. He makes everything. He makes everybody think twice about going up and finishing at the rim when they're playing the Knicks. So it's really been great. The vibes are immaculate right now. Incredible. I love it.
You talking about Mitchell Robinson like he's Wemby?
Now,
I need you to tone it down a little bit.
yo, it's crazy. He does alter shots at the rim. If he's there, guys turn the other direction right now. I mean, and that's what it is. And then just the rebounding aspect is crazy because that's the way that they want to get out and transition and go. So being able to grab those rebounds and have a guy out there who could clean those up and then just get us out going on the break, that's when the game gets easier, and that's when this team is playing at their best and when they're on the go right now. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I like
I
it.
like it. I like it too. I like it too. The man, we're 6 games in, whatever it is. A lot of season left. New head coach, new culture. I know you've been in one of our group chats. I know somebody was questioning if Mike Brown was the right pick, but it's still early. He's got to implement his system, get all the players acclimated, and again, we talked about it in our first episode this season that the East is the weaker conference. If you're going to lose some games, let's lose them now. Figure out who we are, our identity, and then come the new year, going into All Star, post All Star, man, if you guys can get it right,
Yeah.
y'all are gonna be all right because the East looks a little crazy right now. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it does. I mean, like if you look at the top of the conference, the standings right now, you're like, huh? Like, I mean, you expect the teams that are there to be there, but you wouldn't expect the order that they're in right now and who's
Exactly.
playing the best. There's a few surprises so far out the gate. So yeah, man, it's I think when this team really hits their stride and the cohesion comes together and everything starts to really click for them, they're going to be very, very hard to beat.
Before we get into our first topic, did you see the White House posted something and it had like the Knicks like
Yeah, yeah,
logo?
yeah.
Man, I saw somebody
I
they
was
were
like,
like
I
they were
cooked them
like
for
New
that.
York Knicks cease and desist immediately.
Immediately, like this is not happening. You are not bringing us into this mess, okay?
Yes.
Somebody changed it on Nick's Twitter. They were like, "Leon is your president." It was like, yeah, that's right. Leon Rose, and I trust Leon Rose way more than I trust Trump. That's for sure.
Feel you. Feel you. All right, so let's dive into some of our topics for the day. The first question I have for you is a general question. I don't know if we've talked about it before. We may have touched on it at some point, but this will kind of drive a lot of our conversation today. We know that the NBA is a star driven league, whether it's Steph Curry, LeBron, KD, Ja Morant, like whoever, Anthony Edwards, whoever it is, it's a star driven league. You have to have a superstar in order to win in the NBA. My issue is I feel like we toss that word around a lot. Superstar,
Absolutely,
superstar,
yeah.
superstar. Um, what's your personal definition of a superstar here in 2025?
I feel like there's stars and then there are superstars in
I
the
100%
NBA.
agree.
In the NBA, they have a lot of stars. There's only like 4 or 5 superstar players,
Yes.
and all of them have the hardware to prove it. All of them have the accolades, and I'm not talking specifically about championships. They have MVPs, defensive players of the years, or something like these are the superstar players. There's a lot of like everybody's good, but to me, a superstar is somebody who has reached the highest level, and been a major part of it, for their team. That's one box to check, and then they're just their overall their scope of their fame in general. Like
Yeah.
there's no denying that LeBron James is in commercials, he's in movies, he's talked about by everybody. That's a superstar. Ja Morant, he's had some crazy plays, some crazy. He's a great player. He's a star. He's not a superstar to me. He had, same with Anthony Edwards. I love his game. I was so excited to go watch him last night. When then, shout out to Ian Begley too. We sit right by the media row, so I ran into him and Tim Bontemps on our way to the seats. Got to chat with them a little bit, and that's how I found out that Anthony Edwards was going to go. He was out there warming up and everything. It was cool. I was so excited because he was like questionable all the way leading up to the game. That's how I found out that he was going to play. But yeah, like he's a star player. These guys, they don't have MVPs. They don't have all the accolades. They have a what between them? How many first team All NBAs do they even have?
Maybe none, honestly.
you know what I mean. I don't think Anthony Edwards has ever been first team All NBA. So that to me, like, yeah, we can acknowledge that this is an extremely talented player that is probably the best on their team and definitely one of the best in the league. But that it takes more to be considered a superstar. Steph Curry is a superstar. The longevity, that's another thing that puts into the consistency of your greatness. Superstars don't have down nights like that. Their down nights are 15 or something like that, or 20 still, and maybe they just shoot a bad percentage, but they get it done at the end of the game. Like that's what I mean. Like you bring it onto the court from there. On the court, a superstar is a guy who the coach is calling the play to put the ball in his hands. Whether he shoots it or not, or just sets something up for somebody else, it doesn't matter. But if you're a superstar, other guys aren't taking those shots. You're the one who's got the ball, and you're gonna, dictate what happens in that moment. So to me, that's what a superstar. Somebody who you put it all on their shoulders. The weight of the success of the team, the weight of the franchise, and speaking with the media and taking the hits and go all that stuff. You're the first one out of the locker room for media when you lose. That's what a superstar does. That's what you do. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion, that's where it's at.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I don't think there's, again, I just feel like the word gets used so loosely
Definitely. In all sports
where,
too. In all sports,
yeah,
but
yeah,
especially basketball and NBA.
yeah. And again, I think it's because in the NBA, it is superstar driven. Like
Yeah.
in the NFL, it's quarterback driven.
Absolutely.
You're going to have a great quarterback, you're going to have a mediocre quarterback, you're going to have a bad quarterback. But the moniker of being a superstar, I think that is most closely related to the NBA because of what it means to have a superstar on
Yeah.
your team. I'm kind of going to piggyback off of a lot of what you said. I do think it's the like bona fide undisputed leader of a team. Like you said, in crunch time, the coach is drawing up plays for them. Again, whether it's for them to score or facilitate or whatever, the coach trusts the ball in their hands in crunch time to make the right decision, make the play, make the shot, get fouled, whatever the case is. A superstar also is, like you said, they're going to be in the media, they're going to be on TV, they're going to represent the franchise, they're going to represent the league in a way that continues to bring eyes and views and fans to not only themselves but to the league, to the
Yep.
franchise, right?
Yep.
And then the only thing I think I would differ on with you a little bit is, for me, like, and of course there's going to be anomalies, there's going to be, people outliers and things like that. Like, I personally think Jokic is a
Yeah. Yeah.
superstar, but he wouldn't necessarily fall into like the media darling because
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
literally wants to play basketball and then go race horses. Like,
That's it.
that's all he wants to do.
That's all he likes.
But, we mentioned Ja. We'll get into him a little bit more. I don't think Ja's a superstar either. Anthony Edwards, I'm kind of on the fence about. I think he has all the tools to be a superstar in the
Yeah.
league. Whether or not he's going to or wants to take the reins and actually be that, we'll see. And then you get somebody like a LeBron, a Steph. Like, I think they're teetering on the other side of being, like, they've
Yeah.
been superstars forever. Now, later stage in their career, Kevin Durant, later stage in their career, are they still going to give you high quality hoops? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are they still going to be the primary ball handler or whatever the case is in crunch time? Probably still at this point in their career. But we're probably a couple years away from them not being that superstar player and them being a star, a very
Yeah.
good player in the NBA, just, elevating their team to that upper echelon.
Right.
And I do think that plays a role in it.
You
In
got to
it. I don't
carry
know.
that weight. Yeah. That
Yeah,
weight.
I don't know if you can
You're
be a
you got to come
superstar.
with the weight. Yeah.
I don't know if you can be a superstar on a bad team. And that might be my last caveat. Like,
Yeah.
of course you can have there might be a bad year. You have,
Exactly.
a key injury or something like that. I get it. But I think a superstar, like, there's a correlation between being a superstar and team success. It doesn't necessarily mean championships, unfortunately, but your team is going to be competitive every year. You're going to be in the playoffs. You're going to be making runs. I do think all of those things go into being a superstar.
Absolutely.
So again, it's going to tie in to some of our other topics, but I wanted to get your definition, and we're more or less on the same page with what a superstar is and the fact that there aren't as many superstars in the league as one would think, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I agree with that.
So, rookies. I mean, honestly, this year, the crop of rookies have been very impressive,
Impressive.
honestly, like across the board. We're 3 weeks into the season, we're through October. I want to do a quick rookie check-in. We've talked about VJ Edgecombe. We've talked about Cooper Flag. Give me a rookie to watch out for this month in November, not named either one of those guys. Somebody that you've been impressed with, somebody that we should be keeping an eye on to see what they're going to do in the next month.
Con Canepo from Charlotte,
Yes.
from out of Duke. He's having a great start to his career. Those names you mentioned before are how numbers like this from a rookie coming in can go, be missed. Hornets are 3-5, so they're struggling out of the gate a little bit. But he's averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He's shooting the splits are crazy. 45 from the field, 41 from three. And he's over 80% free throw shooter as well. 81 coming in at 81%. So I love what he's doing. He's getting He's getting good minutes, averaging 30 minutes a game. So he's on the court. They're trusting him. It's still a pretty much young team. LaMelo, as long as he's only like 25, which
Which
is
is
crazy
crazy.
because it
It feels
seems like
like
he's
he's
been
been
here
around
forever.
forever.
It feels like he's been in the league for like 10 years. But yeah, he literally is like 25, and they're still, I think Miles Bridges is also like only like 29 or something like that.
Yeah,
They're
he's
still
young
a
too.
really young team,
Yep.
and he's a great piece to that. He does all things good. He's effort on defense. He's gonna give it to you. I mentioned the shooting. That's something that a team's always gonna need, and a shooter like him is something that I really feel like who can do it from all the levels. He can be a catch and shoot guy, but he can also put it on the floor and create for himself. And I think having that in addition to Brandon Miller and these other guys, it's just another piece that they could have to to give the defense something to deal with. Con Canepo is my guy. Who I know he's a Dookie and I'm a Tar Heel guy, but man, he's
You gotta
cooking.
call a spade,
Yeah,
man.
you
You're not gonna be biased.
gotta keep it 100.
Yeah, yeah. I am gonna go with Memphis Grizzlies. Cedric
Okay,
Howard.
okay,
He's been fantastic, honest, just shooting the lights out,
yeah,
honestly. On a team with a new head coach, I mean, new as in he's not an interim anymore. That offense feels like it's built for him, right? Where it's just up and down. They play a lot of possessions, a lot of offensive possessions, and he's able to get good looks. And he's shooting like 68,
wow,
67% from the field, shooting a high percentage from three as well. I think he's averaging like 16 or 17 a game, four rebounds. He's doing everything. And I mean,
everything.
unfortunately, it's not translating to wins
Yeah,
or wins as consistently as that team would like.
team's got a
But
lot
I
of problems.
that they do have a lot of problems, but I think he's showing that
Yeah,
he's truly a professional in this league
he can
and will
play.
be for a very long time. Again, like regardless of the sport, coming in and being able to produce immediately, a lot of players have they have the talent. Do they have the IQ? Yes, clearly with both of them. Does your coach trust you? Yes, both of them. They're
Clearly,
getting.
he's third on
So
his team in score.
it's wild just how
Yeah,
good these rookies have been, and I'm really interested to just see how they continue to grow and progress as the season goes on. Because again, and both of them, Khan as well. You mentioned defensively. They're both two ways. They're both wings. They're both like we're in good
yeah,
hands. We're in good
definitely.
hands with this young crop of players.
Some good young players coming in for sure.
Yeah. Um. So we've mentioned a couple of teams. We mentioned Memphis. You kind of referenced the Eastern Conference and some of the teams there. Again, through the first 3 weeks, through the first month of the season, I don't know how much information we're able to gather right now. Teams are battling with injuries. Some have new coaches, just trying to figure themselves out.
Yeah,
But to this point, do you have a team that you've been impressed by, super impressed by, or disappointed in? Um,
I get if I'm gonna go on the side of impressed because I've seen this team play, and it's the Chicago Bulls. They have one loss. They're 6-1. Their one loss was to the Knicks when they played a home and home with them. And they lost when we played them at MSG. They're I like what they're doing. I like the way that they're playing. They got
yep,
Giddy, really pulling the strings for everything that they do. They are a transition team. Like they want to get out and go. They want quick possessions. They want a lot of possessions, and they want to get shots up. Everybody can shoot, and yeah, man, it's tough to deal with. It's tough. I have to say, like, I mean, even on good possessions, the ball's moving around, and it's not really sticking to any one person. Like everybody's getting shots up. So I don't know how sustainable it is. I really don't, because when you look at the roster, you're looking at the names, and you're just like, I mean, I know these guys. These guys are here. They
I
were
know
here.
these guys.
Been here.
Yes.
They've been here the whole time. But now it's really starting to work. Vucevic being like the veteran guy there now. He's really, that he was like the early version of the every center that's in the league now
Yep.
today.
Yep.
Like he was that center that could step outside and shoot it, but could still play back to the basket as well, and he could face up. So, he's a complete piece for them and still grabbing boards and double machine like he was always been, even going back to Orlando. And I said, Giddy is a tough guard, man, because
He is.
he's a 6'6". So when he gets, going downhill and everything like that, he could see over. just about anybody that's guarding him, and that makes things really, really difficult. For the defense, because you either got to leave a small guy on him to kind of stay true to position guarding, or you got to take a wing and now put him on him, which creates mismatches in other places. So, yeah, they've been quite a revelation. I will say that they've been quite a revelation.
Yeah. I'm with you. I don't know how sustainable it is either, but it's a fun story for now. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
it is one of those things like to have the Chicago Bulls be good, I think is good for the league.
Yes,
Um, you know, whether or not they win a championship, whatever. But for them to be competitive, for them to be in the playoffs, I think it's a great thing. So I'm hoping they do continue it, but shocked that they
very
are six
shocked.
and one, second best record in all of
Everybody,
the NBA right now.
only the
So
world champs have a better record.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty wild.
Uh,
Pretty wild.
for me, I'm gonna go with a disappointment. And I'm going to stay in the Eastern Conference. It's the Orlando Magic. Orlando, again, we've talked about them for years. They were one of your teams to
They look
watch.
like booty cheeks last
They
night.
look terrible. They look
Horrible.
terrible.
Nothing works.
And it's crazy because again, last year we gave them grace because of the injuries. They had major injuries to Paulo, to who else got hurt? France?
Franz, they've each missed like 30 games or 20 games or
Yeah.
something like that. They each had a stretch that they
Yeah.
missed it.
So like, and they were playing great to start the
Great.
season before the injury started to the injury bug hit them. So my thought was, they kind of backed into the playoffs last year. They played fine, but had they stayed on the trajectory they had been early in the year last year, they're probably looking at like a 3, 4 seed, 5 seed,
Yeah. This
as
time
opposed
last year,
to
they were cooking everybody. Paulo
yeah,
was averaging like 26,
he was
and
killing.
he was killing, doing everything. I think he had like a couple 50 balls.
He
He had
did.
a 50, yeah, he had a 50-point game
Yeah.
early on last year. Like, he was great right out of the gate. And then he had, what was it, like an abductor or abdominal
Something
something
like that.
injury.
Yeah.
And then Franz took over. He started cooking. And then when Paulo was just coming back, Franz like literally
He
got
got
hurt
hurt.
like
Yeah.
right away. Yeah, it was crazy.
So I'm surprised they're sitting here at what 3-5,
Yep.
and again it's early, but it's just like it's more. I mean, I know they lost a couple key pieces, but it's more or less the same team. You have the same star players in place, and it's just like what changed from last year to the beginning of this year.
Yeah. This
So
team
they're my
absolutely should be
disappointment.
better.
Yeah, I
Absolutely should
think
be better.
they're going to figure it out. I have no doubt they're going to climb in the rankings and the standings. But it's just looking at it outside in, I'm like, bro, like what happened to this team
Yeah.
that was so good last year?
Yeah. And then you bring in a Desmond Bain too. Like this guy's a 3-and-D guy. They gave up a lot to
They
get
did
him
go up a
too.
lot, yeah.
To get him. And I mean, he's having an all right start to the season. I understand how it is. Like Mikal Bridges was kind of like this when he got there. He's 13 points. He's not really shooting the three great. He's 28% on the season. That is not gonna be good if he keeps at that pace. So excuse me. They got to figure out a way to get him more comfortable and fast because I think he's a critical part to opening things up for them right now. They're very clunky and crowded in the middle of the floor right now. At least that's what I saw last night. I haven't watched them admittedly as much this year as I had in the previous years, but just I've watched like the two games and then that game last night. Yeah, man, it hasn't looked good. It hasn't looked good.
Again, early in the season, they're 3.5 games back. It's not like they are in the cellar in the East right now, but
Yeah,
there's so much time to make up ground. I think they'll be fine. It's just a little surprising where they are
definitely.
this early in the season.
I absolutely am shocked to have out. It's just not because they're just the record. It's more because it just hasn't
Like
looked
how
right. It
they
hasn't.
played. Yeah.
It's the way that they're playing. It doesn't look good. It looks like they're struggling. Like they're struggling to find the cohesion with each
Yeah.
other,
Yep. Yep.
which is strange from a team that's played together. Their
Exactly.
their core guys have been together for 3 years.
Exactly. We'll see. We'll see. So I want to pivot back to the superstar discussion.
Yes,
As I mentioned, we know the NBA Superstar League, but in the same way, and I kind of alluded to this before, in the same way that the NFL is a quarterback driven league, is there a way to supplement your superstar? So the reason why I bring this up, we look at Boston. Boston hasn't played great this year without Jason Tatum. We look at Indiana. They have not played great without Tyrese Halliburton. So, to use an analogy, your football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, a few years ago, you have Carson Wentz. He's on a, MVP trajectory. He ends up getting hurt. Nick Foles steps in, brings you guys to the promised land. But I think a big part of that was the fact that the offense didn't have to change all that much for
Yeah.
Nick Foles' playing style. In the NBA, is it even possible to have a situation like that where if you have a Tyrese Halliburton go down, you have somebody, for lack of a better word or a better phrase, like waiting in the wings that can come in and do a lot of the same things that he does to keep the offense going? Or is that just it is what it is? Like you have a superstar, you have a star on your team, and you kind of live and die with them.
I mean, sure, it's possible. Anything is possible. But if these guys were good enough to be what the guys that they're supplementing are, then they wouldn't be the backup. They would be those guys. You know what I mean? So, just like to kind of push back on what you said a little bit, I don't think that these teams are even playing bad without their superstars. I think that they're able to compete in the game because they're NBA players. And when it gets to winning time, where superstars come, that's where you don't have a guy. If you don't have a guy like Jason Tatum who could take anybody in the league off the dribble, crossover, step back, behind the back, step back, 32-foot shot, good. Like everybody
True,
can't do that.
true.
Everybody can't do that, and he can. So that is the difference. It's a very. I don't feel like it's a thin line. I feel like it's a very fine line between the superstar players and the rest of the pack. And that's what I mean. If there was another Steph Curry, then he would be somewhere. He's not
No,
there.
that's valid. That's
There's
very
not
fair.
another Steph Curry. So if he goes down, yeah, they find somebody who could hit some threes, probably close to Steph's percentage. Not at the volume, not the way that he's doing it out of nowhere, not with the game on the line and the ball is as heavy as it's ever going to be. And 2 7-footers are contesting, closing out on him. And he's just, you know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
type of stuff that Steph Curry does. I think that's what people got to understand. You gotta kind of play a scenario out in your head to realize like, oh yeah, he could do that. I think that's more of, it's hard, it's possible you could get a Jeremy Lin situation where they're missing everybody. They got no backup point guards. Their 2 point guards that are on the roster are down, and they need somebody to just come in and make sure that we don't waste this season for Carmelo and don't turn the ball over. And instead, he takes over and becomes a star for 2 months. But yeah, it's hard to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's I use the NFL comparison, but
Yeah,
it's not really a comparison. The NFL, like yes, you have to have a quarterback. You have to have a great quarterback 98% of the time, 99% of the time in order to win a championship.
yeah,
Obviously, you got to have a good defense and skill players and line and all that stuff. But if you have a bad quarterback, you're not going to win in the NFL. And we see it all the time. And similarly, again, like you said, the teams aren't necessarily playing bad without their superstars or their stars. But to go back to our point before,
yeah.
that superstar is the one who you roll the ball out to with a minute 30 left, up two, and say, hey, I need you to go get a bucket.
That gotta have it.
We need a bucket on
Yeah,
this possession. Or I need you to get fouled and go to the line on this possession.
anything.
And those teams currently don't have that player. And also, I mean, for what it's worth, I know referees, they shouldn't be biased or anything like that. Jason Tatum's going to get a different call
Oh yeah,
than Peyton Pritchard. You know
oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So like that, I think that does play a little bit of a role in it as well. But I'm with you. In the NBA, it's hard. If you
I think it's
lose,
harder there. Yeah,
yeah, if you lose your best player, star, superstar, they're not on the court, you're going to struggle to win. And of course, there's going to be, you know, your third guy off the bench, he's going to get hot one night and
yeah,
go for 35 and get you a win. But the next night he's going to go 1 for 12 with 4 points, and it's like, you don't have the same consistency
yep.
from those players that you would from, your first six. So I'm with you. I'm with you. So to kind of wrap up that conversation with regards to superstar, star, whatever the case is, one of the biggest topics this week, Ja Morant, He was suspended 1 game for conduct detrimental to the team. Basically, he came out, after one of these games earlier in the week, and he didn't play much. And the reporters are asking the right questions, like,
Yeah,
like, feeling, why do you think you didn't play much? Yada yada yada. And Ja's just kind of like, yo, like, you got to talk to the coaches. It seems like they think the best thing for the team is for me not to play, and blah 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 blah. All these things. And the reason this superstar conversation came up, I saw a tweet that was just like, I've never seen it. I'm paraphrasing. I've never seen a fall from grace from a superstar like this. And I saw that tweet and I was like, the issue with, like, he's an electric player. Like, every single night he could be on a highlight reel, he's dunking on somebody, he's doing
yeah,
something we've never seen um a basketball player do. A superstar though?
yeah. Come on.
I've never seen him as a superstar. I've seen him as
Yeah,
a star. I've seen him as a player that the younger generation gravitates to. But we defined what a superstar was or what it is, and I don't think he checks all of those boxes.
definitely not.
So, from your perspective, what's the actual issue out there in Memphis? Is it Ja Morant and the way that he's playing? Because he's not shooting the ball well. He's not doing a lot of things well, quite frankly. Is it that he's just not playing well? Or is there an actual issue with him and the organization, just from your perspective and the information that we've got?
Yeah, like there's been the rumors, that they're shopping him, there's been like rumored that other executives are kind of like out on him right now, which tells you again that that's if he was a superstar player, it don't matter that
They'd
he's
be
waving a
chomping at
gun
the
at
bit.
somebody. He could wave a gun at somebody, could have shot somebody. If he's a superstar, they'll take him. So that tells you right there. So I think that we just got to disconnect between their star player. He's unquestionably their star player, and a new regime coming in, a new coaching staff
Yeah,
coming in. Everything they want him
absolutely.
to play the way they're trying to enforce their will. They want him to play a certain way, and he's playing the way he knows how to play. And I think that there's some frustration all around throughout, the roster because of the way that they've started out this season. And I think that's another part of the makeup of a superstar. You can't be the one melting down. You got to be the one who keeps a cool head. You got to be the one who keeps your teammates engaged. You got to be the one who sets the tone in the locker room for everybody to know so we could turn this thing around. You can't be throwing little things like that at the media. They're like, yeah, you said it right there. They asked the right question. Just say, I feel fine. You don't got to be like all standoffish, like, oh, ask the coaches. No, just say, yeah, I didn't play that great tonight. Take the blame like a
Yep.
superstar would. Take
Yep.
that blame off your teammates, off the coaches, off everybody. That's what a superstar does. I didn't play that great tonight. I'm looking forward to getting back in our next game and coming out and playing better moving forward. Boom, we are.
That's
You
it.
just giving them bait to ask more questions. Now they're gonna go ask a teammate, "Hey, how's everything going with y'all?" When they get the coach on the next day, probably they were asking about it in the morning. It was before shoot arounds or at the facility. These are things that you don't want to invite in, especially when you're trying to be a championship player on with a championship team. I felt like his ceiling was like Allen Iverson. If he got to be truly who the best, because Allen Iverson was a superstar
Yes.
even with all the dramatics and everything, he suffered from some maturity issues early on too, just like Ja, and he was able to turn it around and lead his team to the finals and did everything he needed to do, be the face of the league, one of the faces of the league at a time where Kobe Bryant is there and all these, LeBron James coming in, all that. I think Ja can still turn this thing, but it's his attitude. That's what it is. It's his attitude. He's drinking a little bit of his own, of the compliments that are being given him. Everybody calling him a superstar, so he thinks he's a superstar. But you can't think you're a superstar. You gotta be one. You know
Hey,
what I'm saying? Be one.
preach.
Be
Preach.
one. That's
Yeah.
really all I gotta say to him. Just be it.
Yeah, yeah. I like the Allen Iverson comp. Yeah, again, Ja Morant is electric. He's a really good player. We saw how good those Memphis Grizzly teams were with him leading the charge. And then, the suspension, the injury, all the other stuff right? And I think recently, within the last week as well, I think Ja Morant also came out and was like, "I don't want to be the face of the league." Which, again, I get it. It's not for everybody, but the maturity you're talking about, the mentality, those things go into, again, the superstar conversation, but also just being a leader. Like Kawhi Leonard, I got irritated with people catapulting him to the best in the world.
Yeah.
He was amazing in that run for Toronto. I still thought there were better players in him, but
Oh
he
yeah.
had an incredible run. I would argue that, and not even argue, he's the leader of that Clippers team. He's not super vocal, at least not from what we've
Yeah.
seen. He goes out there and he performs. He's not going to
That's
give the
it.
media a whole lot. He's going to answer their questions, but he's not going to give them ammunition. And then he's going to show up and practice and play and go about his business. So, yeah, again, I'm with you. I do think Ja can turn it around. It's obviously going to take him seeing that he needs to make a change and, kind of grow from there as a player, as a leader, and whatever else. I guess my biggest thing is, does Ja Morant stay in Memphis? Does he try to force his way out, or is the relationship salvageable?
His
Can they
play
have a
has
come
to
to
get better.
Jesus and
He's not a tradable player really right now. He's dealing with you have this issue with their coaching staff playing out in public now. So thanks for that. You set yourself up for failure there. No team wants to invite that. So you're making yourself harder to deal. Then so let's just remove that. Let's look on the court. 20 points per game. Okay, that's good. But 38% from the field
yeah,
and
he's shooting?
14% from three. 14% from three. That's not gonna do it. Nobody's gonna pick
We
that
could
up.
shoot 14%
I could shoot
from three
14
right
right
now.
now. Right now. Right now. So you got to improve your numbers. You got to improve the things that you're doing. He's averaging over 3 turnovers a game too. So I mean, I think that, like I said, it's some frustration from a new system. Maybe I'm not sure exactly how he wants them to play. Maybe they're shooting more threes. Ja is not particularly a 3-point shooter. He's not like a volume 3-point shooter, and I get that. But a superstar would have been getting with the coaches over the summer and finding out, ways to still be successful within this offense and how they're going to use me and what should I be working on and things like that. And he may have done this. I'm not questioning his work ethic. I'm just saying that he's got to stop giving them ammunition. If he want to think he's going to stay there, he seems to be. The fans love him.
Yep,
The
I
fans
agree
love
with
him.
that. I
So I
agree
don't
with
think
that.
that the organization is going to move on from him that quickly. I just think that it's going to be tough. And I do think there's some pressure on the coach as well to figure this out with him because they're like, yo, dog, like this is our guy.
Yeah, yeah, we got our guy.
Don't come up to my office talking about I can't do it with Ja Morant because you didn't say that when we brought you here.
Yeah,
I know that he was
yeah.
not hired under the prospect or pretenses that he was not going to have to feature Ja Morant in whatever he was planning to do. So they both got to figure it out.
I agree. We'll see what happens. I'm with you. I do think they'll figure it out.
14% though, damn.
I think
Let me get this off my screen. Get this out of here.
I do think they'll figure it out. At least like play wise.
Yeah,
Like they'll figure out how to get Ja the looks that he wants. Maybe it's giving him a little more freedom or whatever the case is. Uh, but as you mentioned, the play just has to be better. Regardless of how this offense is constructed, how it's being run, if you're shooting 28% from the field and 14% from three, you're part of the problem.
yeah,
So Ja got to figure that out.
yeah. Definitely does.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, I like the time we're at.
Yeah, let's get out of here. We'll be back with y'all next week. I would really like to, and maybe we gotta engage on our new Instagram a little bit more.
Yes, yes, yes.
I would love to get, some questions, some comments on just things that people want to hear. So maybe let's game
Put
plan that a
something
little bit
together.
and
Yeah,
just
let me
get
put
some
together a post.
thoughts. Yeah.
Get out my Canva. You know what I mean? Cook something up with this
Cook.
AI.
Cook.
They got these AI stuff on there. The kids are all using it.
Yep. Um, yeah, let's get out of here real quick. Congrats, Mayor Alves. He's
Yes.
back in. That's our guy.
Yeah,
Glad
man.
everybody
Congrats,
went out and
Roberto.
voted.
Record turnouts all over the country. This says, the people, we have the control, man. If you don't like what you're seeing, you could get these dudes up out of here. You just got to
Yes,
show up.
yes,
Get them out of here. If they're not
yes.
working for you, get them out of here. That's democracy. That's what we want.
Yeah, I know who we need to get out of here because we need to open the government back up. But that's another
Dog.
story for
Yeah.
another day. Let's get out of
Don't get me
here.
started. Don't get me started. This is not a political show.
It's not. It's not. So we're gonna end on that. I am Johnell. I'm with my guy Matt Price, Cash Walk-In. This is Heat Check powered by Designated Report. We will be back with y'all next week.